What is the essence of the Ten Commandments?
The essence of the Ten Commandments is to love the Lord our God with all our heart, with all our soul, with all our strength, and with all our mind, and to love everyone else as we love ourselves.
E.B. Warfield, the famous theologian from Princeton, used to tell a story to his seminary students when he was urging them to know the Catechism. He told a story about an officer he knew of in the Civil War who was walking through a city that had just been ravaged, and there was rioting everywhere. It was an absolute chaos. And this man was walking through that city, and another man approached him and was impressed that the man that he approached was carrying himself with such confidence and was calm and had such a distinct demeanor. And so he passed him, and then he turned around after he passed him, and as he did, the other man also turned around, and the fellow came up to the officer and stuck his finger in his chest and asked, "What is the chief end of man?" And that man, without blinking an eye, said, "Man's chief end is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever." He said, "I knew from the way you carried yourself, I knew from your demeanor that you were a shorter catechism man."
So when the children exit the service, if they are in kindergarten through 4th grade, they go to catechism class. And every grade has a set amount of questions, a certain set of questions that they are learning from the Westminster Shorter Catechism for the year.
I feel like these truths from the Catechism only reinforce, they elevate the Scriptures in a way that helps children remember the Scriptures into the rest of their lives. And so I feel like that's also something that it does for me, is it elevates the Scriptures in a way and explains the Scriptures to kind of help me work through the foundations of my faith.
To say, you belong, body and soul, to Christ, and that nothing is going to happen that's outside of His permission or out of His will. It's comfort, and it's the only comfort in this world that I find, is to go back to that truth, and Catechism points you to it.
She's not quite 2, so she hasn't started memorizing great parts of it yet, but Chris and I have started learning some of it, and we can see more of that developing as we teach her.
Yeah, I actually didn't grow up learning catechism myself, so it's been a fun education for me too.
So the first one we taught Joy was, "Who made you?" And she likes to say, "God." And so we'll go through that, not necessarily just the catechism question, but, "Joy, who made that cow?" And she loves to say, "God." "Joy, who made that bird?" "God." And so one day she was sitting in her high chair at breakfast and very intentionally picked up her cup and dumped it all over the place. I watched her do it. I don't think she knew I was watching her. And I said, just not, thinking about it, I said, "Joy, who made that mess?" Wanting her to fess up and say, "I made that mess." And she goes, "God." So we had trained her better than we knew.
We want 3 groups of people to memorize the Catechism. We want children who have not memorized it, we want students who have not memorized it, and we want adults who have not memorized it. I think that gets everybody. We want everybody in our church who has not memorized the Catechism to start memorizing it. You can do it by going through the classes, you can do it by training your children, you can do it by helping us teach. But one way or another, if you put those things to memory, following the biblical strategy of catechizing, it will make a difference in your life.
Joy, who made you?
God.
That's right. God made you.
Cookie.
Cookie. You need a cookie now?
Do you know who made the cookies?
Who?
Who made the cookies?
God.
Yeah.